wrong side.
Oh, let's switch that.
There we go.
No, we're all is well with the world.
Who do I have tonight? Who do I have, Duchess? This is Duchess. Whoop-de-woo. I was hoping Jenna was in here. I wanted to say hi to Whoopty. Hey, hi.
Well, maybe she is. I don't know. She hasn't commented yet. I love these comments already. So Kami John anoints himself as the first commenter. 86 Blackberry White is the second. What did I call Blackberry White last time? Did I call Blueberry?
Blueberry.
And
here's my Whoopty.
I love Andrew Gawlick taking the high road, saying, I don't worry about order, not into racing for who gets to comment or chat first. Well, not bad. You're still early, so good job.
Duchess says, hi, Whoopty, I love you.
Jenna is here. Good evening and happy Monday, vegan. It was a pretty nice day today. I don't know about you. Was it a nice day in Pennsylvania?
It was beautiful. Wasn't it, Mimi? Yeah. Ooh, you nasty. I woke her up from her nap and she's like, let me go to bed. Aw. Duchess. Little stinky pants. Well, first, thank you guys so much for all the birthday messages yesterday. It made me so happy. You guys are amazing. I am 44 years young. And I made people answer how old they thought I was turning, and the most common answer was 27. So I will take that. Thank you. No, 44. I just added 15. What's that?
I said that. That's not bad.
No.
27 is not bad.
Right? Like, I'll take it. Holy shit. Like, I may be kind of cute when if I hit 50. If I hit 50. But I'm like, shit, like, I'll take it. 44. And you know what's funny? Like, as hard of a life as I've lived, and as, as bad as my depression has been at times and stuff like that, like, I'm surprised people still think I'm younger, because, like, a lot of times when you see someone who's kind of rough around the edges, people say, wow, they've lived a hard life, and it's like, but like, I've lived a hell of a hard life. But apparently to this point, it hasn't shown. But I do have a fear that, like, overnight, all of a sudden, I'm going to wake up and, like, have, like, all these wrinkles and stuff, and wake up and be like, holy shit, it all happened overnight. I definitely look my age now. But I am going to enjoy it while it is what it is. But yes, in any case, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. And also thank you so much to everyone who donated to our and for All East Palestine rally and mutual aid. That was so exciting. Like, our goal is 3,500. That's our goal. Okay. We are hoping to get more than that, because the more we raise, the more mutual aid we can do. We are hoping to get as much as possible. You guys know I've been, becoming quite close with a number of people in East Palestine, and we are hoping to really help in as many ways possible. So we are now at $450 out of 3,500. Today is 2 months away from the rally and mutual aid. We also have a picnic going on in Vancouver, Washington, that Vegan is doing. And it's going to be like a lunch and learn. There's going to be food and activities for kids and drinks, and not those kind of drinks, but drinks and water. And you guys are going to get to listen to speakers and talk about things that matter and ask questions and learn about what National Improved Medicare for All really is. So it's going to be, both those events are going to be awesome. There's also an online event going on that day as well. If you would like to organize a solidarity event, July 22nd in your city, we have had someone reach out about their city. Please contact us, m4mforall.org or on Twitter, m4mforall. Absolutely hit us up and say you want to do something. It could literally be anything. It could be honk and wave, just stand on the busy street waving signs and say honk for Medicare for all. It could be meeting outside the city council and saying we demand Medicare for all. It could be calling your representative, like literally any action whatsoever. If you want to do something in solidarity, hit us up. That is what's up. That's amazing. So thank you so much. If you'd like to donate to help us, I believe Vegan will be putting the link in the chat. Also, this, yeah, I think I got it. That is for Wednesday, this Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We are having That's So 80s trivia night. And yeah, there's going to be prizes. So we're going to do everything 80s, music, movies, all those fun things. And we're just going to play trivia. And if you want to register, registration is free. However, we do have a suggested donation of $5 or more. But tune in and play. We're going to have such a blast. And it's for a good cause. So aside from that, Andrew, what do we have tonight? I just realized I didn't do any Brit accent today, so I better put that in there before we start. I don't know.
So it's saying my connection.
Was that?
So it's saying my connection at times is a little unstable. So this will be fun. We'll just keep going. Yeah, but it looks like it's fine now. So let's get going with it. And Kami John says RFK is garbage. So yeah, we're going to be talking about RFK in a little bit. And it's not letting me unhide the. Okay, there it is. All right, let's add the first. Huh?
I didn't say anything.
All right.
Uh-oh.
So, surprise healthcare system in a recent poll. Despite spending more money per capita on healthcare than any other wealthy country in the world, the U.S. struggles to match other nations in life expectancy and other health outcomes. The new Harris Poll survey, which was conducted from February to March this year, commissioned by the American Academy of Physician Associates, showed that patient satisfaction is also suffering due to the high cost, inaccessibility, and confusing logistics of U.S. medical care. And so when it came to what grade they would give the U.S. healthcare system overall, 34% said C, 18% said D, 8% said F, 10% said A, and 30% said B. More than half of the roughly 2,500 U.S. adults who took the survey. Yeah, okay. So here is what I find very telling. They asked specifically what do you consider
privilege. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was one. I was gonna go there, but later, but I'll go there now since you brought it up. It would have been nice if they actually showed like how income correlated with what grade someone would have given the healthcare, and of course race. Yes, race, income. They don't cover the those things. But one thing they do cover is, they say, what do you consider to be the biggest barriers to access to healthcare in the U.S. healthcare system? Affordability is 61%. 40% says it is too focused on profit, which kind of goes similarly to affordability in some instances. So that's interesting. 30% says access to insurance coverage. 13% saying inequities bias within the system. Yeah. And then it goes down to depersonalization, absence of human interaction, customer service. And so, 27% of people who took the survey said the U.S. medical system meets all of their needs, while the rest listed complaints, including how long it takes to get an appointment, high costs. And how, if at all, is the healthcare system not meeting your needs? And so it takes too long to get an appointment. I love that 31% says it takes too long to get an appointment, particularly because one of the talking points against Medicare for all is they say, these other countries that have more people covered by healthcare have longer waiting times. Yet
you beat me to it. Yep.
Yeah. So that was, I'm well aware, I've experienced it myself, particularly right now, how ridiculous it is to be able to find even primary care doctors at this time. If you need to get, if your health insurance switches and you need to get somebody who's in your network, it can be very tough. I actually was having a conversation with some friends yesterday saying that it's nearly impossible if they need to find a new primary care doctor to find somebody. No one's taking anybody except if you travel 50 miles outside of Boston. So yeah, that right there, I think just shows a little bit more beyond the anecdotal how this is something that is affecting a lot of people.
And let's be clear, one of the reasons people have such a hard time finding a provider is because there are things such as in and out of network. You may find someone you love. Tough shit. You want to pay 100% out of pocket? Oh, wow. No, you better just suck it up, Buttercup, and go with whoever's the cheapest. And that's one of the issues that people find. Or they have, which I've interviewed plenty of people who have medical conditions and they love their doctor. They cannot imagine going through what they're going through without their particular doctor. And then all of a sudden, they were made out of network.
Mm-hmm.
That is so beyond fucked up. And that's the kind of shit that happens. So unfortunately, a lot of these people are obviously deeply unaware. And, it is, it's bias in the sense that it's opinion. Do I think healthcare is affordable? Insurance is affordable? Well, mine is. So yes.
Right.
I have it through my employer. I only paid $50 a paycheck. Yeah, it's affordable. Well, to you, yes. Okay, but you know what I mean? So these surveys, they are interesting, but it's, it's difficult to put any real stock into them.
No, I think one of my main takeaways from that is that 70% don't feel like they're getting adequate coverage, right? Which checks out when it comes to the amount, the wealth gap and the amount of people who are, more and more people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I think it was 80% of people, I might butcher it, but a significant amount of people can't afford a $400 emergency, right? Yes. And so that I think is just, that I found interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this specifically on this show, but my old primary care physician, every time I would go for my annual exam, they would put me in another room to do phlebotomist to draw blood, right, to get samples. And I guess they switched companies, right? Because that's outsourced, right? The phlebotomy doesn't work.
You told me, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it on this show, but I think I might have told you separately. And maybe I said, but anyway. And then I didn't know that they switched companies. And then I get like a $300 bill for just having an annual exam, nothing more. And I was just furious. I was like calling them. They're like, "Oh yeah, they were out of network." I was like, "Since when?" And so, yeah.
Why is that not their responsibility to
Yes.
tell you, look, there's been a change?
Right.
It's bananas. And guess what? National Improved Medicare for All takes all that fucking bullshit away. You don't need in and out. You don't need fucking pre-authorization. You don't need pre-existing condition exclusions. Like, you don't need any of that fucking shit. It's free at the point of service. You go to who you want.
Yeah.
It's how it should be.
You can actually keep your doctor.
Yeah. Obamacare is great because you can keep your doctor.
Yeah.
Really?
So this will be the first of 2 content warnings that we have for the show.
Like serious content warnings. Like,
yeah.
Trigger warning, suicide and depression.
Yeah. So this is just a video of a vet who the last 7 years or so has had terrible experiences with the VA. Has been constantly having to go through switching doctors, and he's clearly going through a lot of stress, PTSD, and this terrible healthcare system is definitely not helping. So, yeah, but let's bring it up.
Government failed this veteran, and he didn't expect that.
7 times over the course of the last 6 years, dude. The VA has continued to let me down. I just want some continuity of care with mental health providers. These doctors keep quitting, they keep switching. And then the one doctor that I really liked, who talked me off a ledge the last time, refused. I had a split because they fell out of network, and then they came back into network. So I went the last 2 years dealing with my own demons myself and trying to hold it together. And then come to find out, it's like May. It's like late May, and he denied taking my case back. April 12th, and I'm just finding out, dude. And now I gotta go back to some new doctor. And then I gotta open Pandora's box again because they're gonna want to know everything. And then I'm gonna have to live through working through that for a month. I just want some continuity of care, dude. I'm fucking so tired of it. I just want to be able to talk to the same person and have the same individual manage my goddamn meds. I've been off all my medications for 2 years. I've been doing it on my own, man. I'm just white knuckling. I'm gripping. Jesus, I'm so tired of it. It's not a lot to ask. I just want to be able to talk to the same person and not continue to have to retell these fucking stories that torment me. I fucking get it now. I really do. I just want some continuity of fucking care.
I think one of the things that was just especially tough to hear is how he feels like he has to share his story over and over again with different doctors because they keep switching him, and how that just living through the trauma of what he's gone through over and over again is just incredibly inhumane. That's a normal thing. I'm sure a lot of people, well, veterans and a lot of people when they've suffered traumatic instances that affect their health and their care.
Absolutely. And I think this is, an opportune time to explain to people that the VA is not Medicare for all. It's not. A lot of people say, yes, we need Medicare for all, which is just like TRICARE for everyone. No, it's not. TRICARE is not good. TRICARE is not enough. This is TRICARE. That's what TRICARE is. I've worked for TRICARE. I've worked in healthcare for over a decade. Number one, if you're not active duty, you ain't got nothing. Okay? That's first of all. Second of all, there are things like this. They're in and out of network. Third of all, when it comes to mental health, there could be waiting lists a mile long. Just 2 years ago, there was a gentleman, trigger warning, who committed suicide while sitting on a stack of names on a waiting list to see a psychiatrist. So when people say we all need benefits like veterans, no, we don't. They need Medicare for all. We need Medicare for all. There's this assumption that they have it all. They have everything covered, even their family members covered. Not true. Vegan and I have listened in meetings where veterans have spoken, watched interviews. The amount of, their VA has so little staff. First of all, say my uncle, he was in the service for fucking 50 years. He had to go literally over an hour to the nearest VA place that would even see him. My 82-year-old dad would take him because he was 90 and couldn't drive. So I think people need to realize it's not like there are VA clinics literally up the street from everyone. And also, not all VA clinics even have the particular doctors you need to see. And they're only given so much allowance to have X amount of doctors, X amount of specialists. So this is not, in any case, something that we should want at all. What's the comment?
Yeah, so Andrew Golick says, I can relate to the person in the video so much. Changing therapists and re-explaining the issues over and over is so damn draining.
It is. It is. And then when you do it, you have to hope that they're empathetic and that they understand. I swear, it's like when you look for therapists or even psychologists, psychiatrists, even people that just, prescribe your meds, you have to go into so much, and they make you take tests and circle which one is most like you and rate this on a 1 to 10 and all this stuff. And you go through all that, and then you decide, I don't even like this person. So you have to shop, and all the while you're paying for your deductible. I remember I had to jump through hoops for this one lady, and man, oh my God, she just talked about herself the whole time. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell am I paying? You're not listening to me. She would talk about her friends and it was crazy. But I had gone through 4 psychiatrists to even get to her. So you're like, do you stay there? Do you go with someone else? What do you do? And you're so right. It is freaking exhausting. Absolutely exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of violence, right? This is a good time to bring up the March for Medicare for All statement from the National Steering Committee on John Fetterman. So I'll just read out the statement here. Let me zoom in a little bit so it can be seen. Okay. March for Medicare for All is deeply disappointed to see that Senator Fetterman has not co-sponsored the Medicare for All Act of 2023 introduced on Wednesday, May 17th, 2023 to the 118th Congress. As someone who recently benefited from gold-plated inpatient psychiatric care, Fetterman surely understands the critical importance of mental health support. However, his failure to endorse a extending such care to all Americans is cruel. Fetterman's website clearly states, in the Senate, I will support any legislation that gets us closer to the goal of universal health care coverage. Unfortunately, he has fallen woefully short of fulfilling this promise. Fetterman's negligence in not co-sponsoring this life-saving legislation, despite making a personal pledge to support any legislation advancing universal health care coverage, is an egregious betrayal of the American people. It is an act of blatant disregard for the urgent need to address the inequities and deficiencies in our for-profit system. It's time for Fetterman to step up, co-sponsor the bill, and demonstrate an unwavering commitment to dismantling the healthcare industrial complex.
So the team and I felt that was necessary, and me and Jenna Colby, who's in the chat, I don't think anyone's been more outspoken about Fetterman. Like, they literally used a clip from my show on the debate that he had with Dr. Oz. Okay, like, I don't think either one of us no one has been more outspoken than the two of us. We're both in Pennsylvania. We both know this dude. I've interviewed this dude. I've met this dude numerous times. Jenna has spent time with him in the past numerous times. People did not want to listen to us. They didn't. And what it comes down to is that Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden will not fundraise for anyone who supports Medicare for All. Let's just be clear. And people would attack me over and over and over. He does support Medicare for All. He supported Bernie in 2016. Well, let me tell you about his so-called support for Bernie, because that's the first time I met him. Was when I was at a Bernie rally. He handed out his pamphlets and left. He didn't even wait to hear him speak. He didn't support him. He didn't give a... He's a fucking fraud. Whatever. The point is, no, he doesn't support that because, like, Biden and Hillary campaigned for him and fucking fundraised for him. He takes corporate donations. He supports Medicare for... Like, are you fucking kidding me? People want this new Bernie so fucking bad that they create this person. Like, I mean, it was post after post about Fetterman's the new Bernie. First of all, do we want that? No. Second of all, why do we need a new whoever? Like, can we just fucking be like, what about not me, us? Like, it's us, people. We need to fucking rise up. Stop looking for a fucking savior. And people wanted to make him this thing so bad. Like, he's this progressive and he's a leftist. And I'm sitting there like, look, I'm in Pennsylvania. He voted with police 93% of the time. He praises Israel like nobody's business. He is extremely disrespectful to Palestinians. He has said so many racist things. He held a black gentleman at gunpoint because he happened to be black and walking through his neighborhood I mean, like, dude, like, I would present these fucking receipts and people would just be like, no, what do you want, Dr. Oz? It was so much like, you complain about Hillary? What do you want, Trump? Like, I'm like, oh my God. And hell no, I didn't vote for his fucking ass. Hell no.
Has any senator co-sponsored that bill yet?
Yes. Summer. Yeah, there was.
I know there's been Congress people, but senators, I wasn't clear on who has.
Yeah, there was 120 something or others.
Congress people, yeah. So does that include any of the senators? Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, and then Fetterman today had the audacity to tweet, abortion is healthcare, and go on his thing about how we need to make abortion legal. If abortion is healthcare and you don't support healthcare, like, remember when he was campaigning and he had those pink shirts that say Fetter Woman? That was the most cringe shit I've seen in so fucking long. He's like, that's right, I'm Fetter Woman, and like opens his jacket. And it's like, what's his name?
Wait, so Jenna says, yes, he did. Jenna, do you want to can you clarify who you mean by yes, he did?
Talking about the abortion.
Oh, got it. I was like, is there an update? Because, Jenna said beforehand there's a list of senators. Yeah, I'll have to look at the list of senators.
Yeah.
To see who did. I mean, I'm sure it's probably like at most 4. But.
No, there's quite a number of them. I think
senators?
Vegan, do you have the numbers?
Okay, let's see. Yeah, Vegan has the link. 14 of Bernie's colleagues in the Senate. Okay, all right. Wow, so he can't even join the 14 in the Senate? All right. Whatever, dude.
Nope.
All right, yeah, I'll have to.
It's pathetic. And I hate to say I told you so, but I fucking told you so for like a fucking year.
So, this is a very interesting article because it gives a thing that the mainstream media never talks about when it comes to mass shootings, right? And that is who pays for the medical bills of people who have been victims in mass shootings. So, Joy, you just want me to read a couple of paragraphs of this?
Yeah.
So when Ashton Gamblin remembers the night she was shot 9 times, she can picture herself lying in the ambulance and worrying about whether she could afford it. That's how the American medical system is, she told ABC News. I just got shot and I'm concerned about how I'm going to pay for the ambulance ride. Yep. Gamblin worked at the front door of Club Q, a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs, where an attack last November left 5 dead and dozens injured. Bullets pierced Gamblin's arms and chest, sending her to the hospital for an emergency surgery and a 6-day hospital stay, she said. After returning home, Gamblin received a letter telling her that the health care costs totaled $300,000 and her private insurance wouldn't cover it. Gamblin is one of hundreds injured in mass shootings each year. As of May, the nation has played host to 184 mass shootings this year, which left 248 dead and 744 injured, according to the Gun Violence Archive. While data for the cost of mass shooting-related injuries is limited, the treatment for healthcare tied to gun violence totals billions each year, drawing on public and private insurance ultimately paid by the nation's taxpayers and employers, experts told ABC News. The human toll, but also the financial toll that results from these types of injuries is massive. Patrick Carter, professor of emergency medicine at the University of Michigan and co-director of the Institute for Firearm Injury Prevention, told ABC News. Treatment for the first year after a gun attack raised medical spending for survivors by an average of $30,000, a fourfold increase from the costs incurred by a given individual over a typical year, according to a study released last year by Zurl Song and a group of colleagues at Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital. Do you want me to read more, or is that good?
No, that's good. I wanted to bring this up. I have covered before other things of this sort. You guys know I've been interviewing a lot of people of East Palestine. Their bills are not covered either. And I have done stories on people who have been victims of sexual assault who have been billed for their rape kits when they go to the hospital to be checked after being assaulted. They are then billed for that. That is not a free service. So that leads to another reason why people do not report things like that. So in every case like this, you have victims. These are victims of circumstance. These are wrong place, wrong time victims, okay? And they are being put in a hostage situation because they are being told, even though you did absolutely nothing to deserve this, you should have had $300,000 saved up in the bank just in case something like this ever happened to you. This is on you. This is a screenshot from a post in Facebook today in an East Palestine group. This is the supposed free clinic I have been talking to so many residents about. That is, don't even get me started. I'll never stop talking if I start. So yes, apparently now people are getting billed for the free clinic.
Maybe it's not in network.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad enough that your vinyl chloride tests are $700. We're not going to pay even a penny of that. Sorry, not sorry. Like, it, and this isn't the only place it's happening. It's just the most in your face. And well, it's in your face to the few of us channels who actually talk about it. But yeah, so this is, these are examples of, I mean, you're being violated all over again when you are attacked, when you are shot, when you are, exposed to something. You are being violated all over again, and you are having these things exacerbate the pain and trauma you are in. Not to mention all these psychological effects and how you are going to need therapy. I always say that every time there's a shooting, I'm like, you guys, like, everyone's talking about guns, and I get it. Like, obviously, I get it. But the thing is, for everyone who's like, this is a mental health issue, okay, fine, that's your stance, whatever. I'm not going to argue. But if you think that, you better be fighting for national improved Medicare for all. Because you think a lot of people have insurance? You think a lot of people can afford to go to a therapist? This shit is, a lot of people who need therapists are unhoused. You think they can just pick up and go to one? Like, a lot of people who need therapists are poor and low income. It's privileged as fuck to be like, oh, well, it's mental health, and then not try to fight for a suggestion, a solution to it.
Right. And I think part of it is when mass shootings happen, right, media outlets do not share the intersectional issues of that happen with these things, right? So it's very convenient to say it's a gun control issue, right? It's a lack of gun regulation. Sure, that you could argue that is a piece of that, right? But they don't talk about how it's also a healthcare issue, right? And how these victims are having to pay for healthcare, and how even despite the obvious of them maybe losing or losing family members, right? Think of the survivors and how now they are affected by all the healthcare costs from a mass shooting incident, right? And so I feel like it's intentional. That is every time, right? Because every time there's a mass shooting, it's always about guns, guns, guns. And that's it. There is no additional things that they talk about, right? I definitely agree that it also is a mental health issue. And part of that is because lack of healthcare, lack of resources to mental health counselors. Also, the fact that people are just economically, and there's a lot of economic anxiety, right? It's all of those things. But those things are never talked about. And so it just becomes a complete talking point. And that's, I think, what causes the blame game to go around, right? Like what we mentioned, where people at first, when East Palestine happened, it's like, oh, that's what you get for voting for Trump, right? Oh, that's what you get for living in a Republican state that has poor gun regulations, right? Instead of really thinking about all the different things that we could be making better in our society. Yeah. So, I promise that at the end of this show, we will have a really good funny. It's a video. But right now, I'm going to have to say content warning for this next video.
This is a heavy show. This is another trigger warning. This is for racism and violence.
Right. Yeah. So I saw this video through JB's tweet, brought this to my attention. And so JB says, see what capitalism did to our ancestors. Take note of the words used in the description explanation. Black people were products to them. Capitalism enslaves. And this is on TikTok, right? And so, yeah, give me 1 second. I'm just going to show it.
This TikTok contains a historical description of the enslaved breeding practice during American chattel slavery. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following is a reading from a primary source document entitled The Narrative of James Roberts, 1858. Chapter 6. Breeding and selling mulattoes on the Calvin Smith Plantation or the Bargras Farm. The full text of this narrative is available online at Documenting the American South, a digital publishing initiative sponsored by the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
From 50 to 60 head of women were kept constantly for breeding. No man was allowed to go there, save white men. From 20 to 25 children a year were bred on that plantation. As soon as they are ready for market, they are taken away and sold as mules or other cattle. Many a man buys his own child. That is the cause of the rapid increase of the mixed race. The Anglo-Saxon must blame himself for all the consequences that may result in time or eternity from such an unnatural state of things. I have seen brothers and sisters married together, and their children, some of them as white as any person in the world. These children marry among the whites. Their children are white, and these have slaves in turn, after being slaves themselves. On Wade Hamilton's farm, the same process went on to a great extent, each planter competing to see who could raise the greatest number of mulattoes a year for market, as they bring a higher price than the blacks, the same as men strive to raise the most stock of any kind: cows, sheep, horses.
I know no error more consuming to an estate than that of stocking farms with men almost exclusively. I consider a woman who brings a child every 2 years as more profitable than the best man on the farm. What she produces is an addition to the capital, while his labors disappear in mere consumption.
And just in case, if you were not able to see the subtitle description below that, because it was kind of small, the last voice that you heard was supposed to be Thomas Jefferson. That was what he said. So I think that's important context to add, because that is a quote unquote founding father, our third president of this great country. So I think, I would agree to Progressive saying, no wonder why they want to ban books, right? Because
you got it.
Exactly. And I think
this would be considered CRT.
Oh, it would 100% be considered
totally
CRT, right? Like, just showing quotations of what people said in those days is somehow like propaganda. It's like you judge how good of that statement that is. Like, I think most people would be able to be like, oh, that's a terrible statement, and that was from a powerful person who said that, not just some random person on the street. And so, it's interesting, because I think when and I don't know about you, but when I was taught about slavery in school, right, in high school, I was taught about the racism part, somewhat, very watered down, right, but taught the basics, right? White people were racist towards black people and believed that they were so insubordinate to them that they should be working for free for them, right? Very rarely, if ever, did it come up and talk about the whole economics behind it and how it was just so profitable, and that's what they were doing, right? And it was interesting because I went to, when I was in Louisiana one time and visited a slavery plantation where they were giving a tour. And it was actually, I was told, like, this is actually one of the ones where they don't sugarcoat slavery, right? Some of them, and literally in the South, as you can imagine, they just kind of say, oh, this is where the slave masters lived, and they don't really actually, it's an afterthought, like the absurd industry that they had, right, in their quote unquote. But this person actually talked about very much like the economics behind it, which I had not heard before in the North. And then I was like, wow, and didn't talk too much about as much of the racial component, probably in the South, but it was interesting to hear, like, it's, and that's when it was like really combining the two, right? It's race and economics, and it really, I digress, but I really, as disturbing as that is, it really just it exposes just how money hungry these people were and how they just saw Black people as just less than human, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought, the fact that when you're mulatto, you are more profitable to them because you do have some white in you. So obviously you're better than someone who is entirely Black. So, I was watching an interview a few months ago with people from Asia who were saying that the more slanted their eyes are, the more they can be looked down upon and things like that. Like it's just so, it's just crazy. Racism is crazy in so many ways. And,
Right.
This has nothing to do with racism, so I digress. But actually was watching a documentary today where someone said something, about human capital. Human capital. Human capital.
Your turn.
Capitable. I just made up a name. It's capitable and habitable. I don't know. Anyway, capital. It was a documentary called Take Your Pills. And it's about the pharmaceutical industry and what have you. So anyway, so they interviewed this doctor, and she said, parents start treating their kids like capital in the womb, because you see them playing Mozart on their belly, and you see them reading, encyclopedias to them, and training them to talk and say big words as soon as they can. And she explained it, and I was like, holy fuck. That is essentially, what it is in a way. I mean, you're I don't want to say grooming your kids, but you're like that. You're like,
oh no, I'm just covered. Yeah.
You're kind of, planting the seed to make them the most profitable they could be.
Yeah.
I mean, to a parent, it's I want to make them successful. I want to make them intelligent. But in actuality, and she said it way better than I am, in actuality, what you are doing is you are making them, have better capital.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention that wasn't explicitly mentioned in this clip that we showed, but I remember recently learning about the pseudoscience, right, and how they convinced people that it was perfectly fine to treat Black people the way they were treating them. There was a pseudoscience theory that Black people actually originated from a different species, right, than white people. So that, like I said, although it wasn't explicitly shown in that narrative, that it can explain the extreme dehumanization, right? Molded to think they're actually not the same human as a white person, right?
Right.
And so the more you dig into the pseudoscience back then, the more disturbing it is, and it just explains a lot about. And then you tie in the capitalism and economics, and it just, that's how it molds together. And I think even Malcolm X said, racism. You can't have you cannot omit racism from a capitalistic system.
Nope.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then he got shot. And so I want to, there's been some really good comments here. One thing, so Andrew Golick says, they never dove into it in my education up through high school. I'm assuming you're talking about slavery, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just curious if you don't mind mentioning what state you went to school in.
That's a good question.
Interesting information.
I mean, literally all we heard, I'm in Pennsylvania, all we heard, and let me tell you how, as a white person, I was a minority. But still, in my school, all we learned was there were slaves, white people owned them. Okay, next chapter. Literally, that was it. We never learned the extent of it, just how brutal they were, how the violence and the, the mind fuck behind it. And we never learned any of that.
Yeah.
Any of it.
I remember learning in high school, I think from one of the books, or maybe it was middle school, I'm not sure, it doesn't matter, where they said, only I'm not sure the percentage, but they said 5 or 10% of families owned in slaves, right? Which, when you think about it, yeah, of course, because that's the amount of people who are rich enough,
right,
to
only 10%
have enough property where it makes sense have farms, to have like your servants, right? Like that's where it would be profitable for them.
So,
right?
like, translation, every single person who had the means to exploit people did it. That's
that is
translated for you.
And then you actually they're also not talking about the number of slaves, right? Because then you actually get into the amount of families who owned 100 plus.
Yeah.
And it adds up into the million. It adds up into I forget the exact number, but it went into the millions, right? And then of course they never talk about how Hitler looked at the treatment of the U.S. and how they treated black slaves, and thought, "Oh, that's a good idea." Mm-hmm. And then the rest is history.
And they built the White House.
They built the White House. Yeah. And so, yeah, what other... There was another comment here I just wanted to bring up, but anything that doesn't perpetuate exceptionalism equals CRT. Exactly. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Oh, and this one. That was Joe Francis.
Great point.
And then Automaton 111. Exactly. The United States was founded on fascist principles. This is the reason why our government is unable to solve the problems of the workers. Right. Yeah. Or they really don't do anything about racism too, right? It's a double-edged thing. So
equity, like legit equity, scares the fuck out of the government. Like that term will literally make them pee their pants. Equity? What? You mean everyone has the same thing? Everyone's treated the same way? How are we then in power? The idea is you're not in fucking power, and we don't need you.
Yeah. Andrew Golick says Hitler also did stuff with disabled people too. Don't forget about Hans Asperger. Right. And then he also did things with the LGBTQ community, trans community as well, which should not be forgotten as well. So,
absolutely.
There are a lot of things.
You've been having some great comments. We appreciate it. We love when you guys interact like that.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely I'm happy about the comments. I'm glad that we get some people who really want to engage to watch.
Who are actually like thoughtful and not just like, fuck you.
Right. Like I would take like 15 to 20 people who like are actually genuinely engaging than like 200 people of just being like, fuck this shit. But I mean, it's good to say fuck this shit, but you know what I mean? Like,
well, okay, I'm going to get into RFK Jr. though, and I've been attacked all day. So that may change up some shit there.
Perfect transition. All right. I'm bringing this up now, the article on RFK. So Robert Kennedy Jr. makes campaign debut at Bitcoin 2023. Free money is as important as free expression. Making his first public appearance as a presidential candidate, RFK Jr. outlined his vision for supporting Bitcoin and freedom in the U.S. And so, as a president, I will make sure that your right to hold and use Bitcoin is inviolable, Kennedy said. I'm an ardent defender and lifelong defender of civil liberties, and Bitcoin is both an exercise and a guarantee of those freedoms. Kennedy told the crowd that he was first inspired by Bitcoin as a critical freedom technology after learning about how it was used to circumvent financial restrictions during the Canadian trucker protest last year. None of these lawful and peaceful protests had violated any law, but suddenly they found that they could not access their money, their bank accounts to pay their mortgages or feed their families, he recalled. When I witnessed this devastating use of government repression, I realized for the first time how free money is as important as free expression. Kennedy has publicly expressed his support for Bitcoin since May 2023, acknowledging its separation from other cryptocurrencies and indicating that legislators should support its development rather than hinder it, as with regulation like the Biden administration's proposed tax on energy used by miners. On stage, he reinforced his distaste for such regulations, and he outlined the steps his administration would take to drive Bitcoin innovation in the U.S. Do you want me to keep going?
No, that's okay. I just think, can you read the headline?
Yeah. Robert Kennedy Jr. Makes campaign debut at Bitcoin 2023. Free money is as important as free expression.
So now I don't think that's the correct article, because he actually agreed to be the first campaign person to accept Bitcoin donations.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like totally new territory, and I've read a few articles on it. I don't have Bitcoin. I don't fucking know about Bitcoin. Like, I kind of like have an idea. Here's my question though. Bitcoin, I thought, goes up and down in value.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, how do you take campaign donations that are not going to be solidified amounts? This is what I don't understand. So I can give $10 to his campaign in Bitcoin. Tomorrow it's worth $7, and he still is spending that $10. Like, I don't understand. I don't fucking understand.
Yeah. I'm not an expert on Bitcoin either, but it is, yeah.
I don't see how that is even allowed in campaign finance. Like, I know there's all kinds of fucked up shit.
Yes.
I don't understand. Look, okay, so one of the reasons that people from other countries are not allowed to donate to American politicians is because, say, the EU price goes up and down. It fluctuates.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to Italy, the our dollar was worth $1.32, and when I went to Ireland, it was worth $1.06 because it was different years. So that's one of the reasons we don't take donations, because they fluctuate.
Right.
So I don't fucking understand. Is there anyone in the comments who can like explain this to me? Because I think I'm like reasonably intelligent, but I don't fucking get this.
Yeah, not seeing. So someone says, yeah, Automaton 111 says Bitcoin isn't money. Yes, very much so. It goes up and down in value. That's what Jenna says.
That's what I don't understand. Like, today, I made $100,000 in Bitcoin. Tomorrow, I made $101,000. The next day, I made $72,000. Like, I'm just so
yeah. So Joe Francis says everything fluctuates in value, even dollars on the world market. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting right now. That's what we're getting right now. So all the articles I've read on it, I'm just so, nobody like lays out how that's going to work as far as campaign donations and how it's going to be spent. And like, aren't you going to, like, you have a 50-50 risk of spending way more than you're raising? Mm-hmm.
Where's that fucking money coming from, dude? You paying it out of your pocket? I mean, if so, go for it. But
so Kami John says, Joy, you should have Grumbine on.
Well, no, I mean, I know we've talked about Bitcoin before, but that's a very different animal. This is literally about campaign donations.
Yeah.
It's never been done. There is no precedent. And I mean, yeah, I mean, Steve's welcome on any time. That's not saying no. It's just, this has never been done before. And it's just fucking weird.
I'm curious if someone like Jane Mayer, right, where she has done a lot of research on dark money. I'm just curious if she's at all has knowledge or has done anything in that. Yeah, I don't know.
I just wonder if, like, after people have been donating for like a month, are they just gonna get like reimbursed? Like, you can't do it this way. FEC found blah blah blah. Like, it's just weird. It's just like, I understand it. Like, you know, it's a different way to, you know, address capital and what have you. Like, I get it in that, and being non-conventional. I just don't understand how it would work monetarily as far as raising for the campaign.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm gonna show your tweet now about RFK, and then we'll show the clip on breaking points that case study showed. So you said, I know the sycophants are going to jump on me, but I keep looking at RFK Jr.'s website, and there's still no actual policy. There are no bullet points or plans. There is a synopsis of thought. There is analysis, and there's a place for that. But where are the actual plans to help people? Healthcare, climate change, minimum wage, unhoused people, and the list goes on. These things should have already been on his website when he announced. It's bananas so many of you are pushing for someone who hasn't even listed his actual policies. Speeches and interviews mean nothing if it's a candidate can't even lay out a platform on their website. Yeah.
So the amount of pushback I'm getting on this, and just completely irrelevant, you know, things like, I mean, it's just insane. It's like, look, and I'm just going to break it down. I don't care if you support him. I couldn't care less. It's your choice. I don't fucking care.
Right.
But, you know, there's so many things that people say about him that it would actually be advantageous for the supporters to have him list his policies on his website as well. So they could be like, actually, he doesn't believe that. Here's his website. And like, Andrew, can you pull up his website? I'm serious. I have been checking this. I'm not fucking kidding you. There is not one issue listed. Not one. It is analysis. It is philosophy. It is opinion. It is Pete Buttigieg type. I don't even know what the fuck it is. But there are no actual policies. None.
All right. So we're on his website. There's a big picture of his face. That's a pretty fucking big picture.
Yes.
And
so
then
these are the things you click on right there. Those are the options. People. For the people. So let's click on that. Sounds like it's going to be issues. Sounds like it's going to be policy for the people. Cool.
We are going to remake public institutions to serve the public. We will roll back the secrecy and the surveillance, stop the censorship, and make government transparent. Learn more about our plan to restore integrity for government for the people. Okay.
And then click it to learn more.
Let's see. Let's learn more. So here there's a couple of paragraphs on it. Democratic government is supposed to be by and for the people, but government is using to betray our trust. The intelligence agencies spy on our own people. Government and tech platforms. Yep. Regular. Okay. Control. Yep. Okay. So they're saying he understands that. We are going to remake public institutions to serve the public. We will roll back. Okay. That was just in the previous page.
Right. So let's go out. Let's see if he has anything on healthcare, climate change, minimum wage, unhoused people, single mothers,
Heal the
child care.
Clean it up, turn it around, bring it home. I don't know which one would be healthcare.
Well, I'll tell you what, I clicked on them all, and it isn't there.
There's no healthcare. Okay.
No. And the only time I've interviewed over 200 candidates across the country, the only time I have ever seen a candidate running for any office do this is Kamala Harris.
Huh.
She went over 2 months of her announcement before she put up her plans. And that was because we roasted the fuck out of her every fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 2 months for him. Where the fuck is your platform, dude? Where is it? I don't care if I disagree with it. I don't give a fuck. Put it up.
Have something.
Put it up. Because let me tell you something that people are refusing to acknowledge. This is a political strategy. Because what this is he has been incredibly inconsistent in every single interview I have seen him on. He talks about the CIA, and then he hires 3 of them on his staff. You know,
3. There's 3 now?
It is not just his daughter-in-law, as people are like, it's his daughter-in-law. No, it's fucking not. So, you know, he is so inconsistent on things, and it's very obvious he is trying to win people from all areas. And I get that to a certain extent, but not to the point that you waver how you answer things as to who is going to be watching. Like, you either support this shit or you don't. Mm-hmm. Put on your fucking website, I support XYZ. You know, why is that so fucking hard?
Yeah.
Thousands of people have done that for decades. Mm-hmm. So the fact that there is literally nothing on there, that is a conscientious choice to not be held accountable. Right. That's what that is. And that's why every fucking time a candidate loses, they take down their policies off their website as soon as they lose. Or excuse me, as soon as they win. Every single time a candidate wins, look at their website the next day. Guaranteed all the issues are removed. I've noticed it with Warren. I've noticed it with Harris. I've noticed it with fucking Gillibrand. Even, you know, Senate and Congress, they're removed every fucking day after. I'm telling you guys. Because that's how people are held accountable.
Yes.
If he puts shit he stands for on that website, people have receipts. Well, it says on your website you support Medicare for all. Why are you fucking around? Huh?
I said, like you just did with Fetterman.
Oh, yeah.
Because
exactly.
that was part of the announcement, right? Because on his website, he mentioned he was for Medicare for all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like that comes along with the inconsistency in his interviews and his speeches. I have heard him say so many different things and there's never, it'll be a yes and no answer. And he will just, you know, no consistency. And that is not fucking good. I don't care if you like them. I don't even care if I agree with this person 1,000,000%. I would never fucking vote for someone who can't even lay out their fucking platform.
Mm-hmm. Right. Teresa 273 says, sad that Status Quo finally got a bigger platform to show what's happening in Michigan. And the comment section was all about discrediting the channel over RFK debate, right? And so we talked about that, and we actually have a clip from Case Study that shows a clip of RFK talking about Medicare for all. And surprise, no one's talking.
Well, don't even give it. Let's just show it, and then let's go.
Let's just show it. Okay.
Let's see your interpretations from this.
Because I know that there's been videos cycling around there about back and forth when it comes to talking about jabs, right? But this has been not getting any real attention.
Nothing.
So let me just make sure it's up. Okay, here we go. Cool. All right.
As you know, every other developed nation in the world has universal health care. Do you support universal health care through a Medicare for All program or something similar?
I would say my highest ambition would be to have a single payer program, which, with people who want to have private programs can go ahead and do that, but to have a single payer program that is available to everybody. I don't know how politically realistic that is, but, if you ask me, if I were designing the system from the beginning, that's what I would do.
Okay, so let's break it down. It was a yes or no question. That was a fucking no, douchebag. Can we just, stop? Okay, just fucking stop. Because that was legit Pete Buttigieg, Medicare for all who want it. That is literally what that was. Yes. And the entire fucking point of single payer is to get the fucking insurance companies out of healthcare. And you still want to keep it in there by leaving it as an option to people who still want it? You don't even fucking know what it is. Seriously, just shut the fuck up, dude. And the fact that I am getting absolutely destroyed on Twitter because I have an issue with this. I'm sorry you're so fucking privileged that you don't care. Well, you know what? I have a lot of deal breakers, and I don't even I gave up on this fucking, shit a lot. I'm so fucking, electoral politics is just not my focus and hasn't been. And for quite some time, basically since 2020. And, as someone who fights for single payer, I will never, ever, 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 ever vote for any fucking person, local, federal, I don't give a fuck, who does not support single payer. Ever. I don't care if I support them in every other fucking way. I will never vote for them. Ever. Never have. Never fucking will. So, he's out. I disagree with him on tons of shit, but he's out. He's fucking done. I don't give a fuck. You can vote for him. I don't give a shit. It's your fucking choice. Yeah. But to me and all the other disabled people and all the other fucking organizers and the millions of people in medical debt, this is concerning. This should make you think. Because not only was that response completely unacceptable, the fact of the matter is, I cannot go to his website and say, well, you know what? He says he supports single payer on his website. So maybe he was just nervous or he kind of stumbled. He's human, whatever. No, I can't fucking do that. So I have time after time, I fucking Google, I do search on his Twitters. Someone today asked me, does he support cannabis legalization? I don't fucking know. It's not on his website. I did a Twitter search. He's never talked about it. I don't fucking know. Does he support Medicare for all? Obviously, he does not. No, and when people are coming at me trying to fucking rationalize that, it's a yes or no question. And second of all, to be like, I don't know how realistic it is. That's not your fucking job to sit there and say that. You were asked if you support it. Not, do you think it'll happen or whatever? Do you fucking support it? Yes or fucking no? You chose. No. That's a fucking no, dude. It's a no for me, dog. That's what it is. It's a no for me, dog.
Go back to American Idol throwback of.
Dude, it just pisses me the fuck off so bad when these fucking privileged ass people come at me because they're fucking sycophants. And RFK Jr. has the fucking cult of personality. It is the new Tulsi, the new Yang Gang, the new, like, whatever. Yeah. I mean, these, you know, I'm not saying everyone who wants to vote for him. I'm saying, like, his legit sycophants are, like, all over me just because I said he needs to put shit on his website. And, you know, they talk about, like, you know, him with the jab and shit. I ain't even gonna get into that. I don't fucking care. People can believe what they want. I don't give a shit. But it would actually behoove these fans to have his, you know, full statement and policy on his website. So they could, because they're always like, he doesn't believe that. He never said that. Dude, write a sentence, put it on your website. Then every single one of your fucking fans can be like, here's a link to his website. This is his actual policy. They should be telling him to have fucking policies on their page. And someone said to me, you know, he's trying to talk to people to figure it out. He did an exploratory campaign for a month. That's when you fucking talk to people. And you know what he did? He fucking went to East Palestine and he met with the mayor and he talked to business owners. He didn't fucking talk to any people. He talked to the fucking mayor who is literally making people's lives a fucking living hell. Okay, so no, he's not trying to talk to people. There's such a thing as having your stance on things and evolving. You still put something to start there. Do you think healthcare is a human right? You can't fucking put that on your website. You can't even put climate change is real and we need to stop it as soon as possible. Like, you literally can't even put those fucking things. We are at the point when we are expecting so fucking little that we are like, they don't even need a platform. I like him. Seems like a cool dude. He's a Kennedy. Yeah, he's got my vote. Like, you think that little of yourself that you are not even going to hold a candidate accountable and say, do you support this, that, and the other thing? Because you will not get my vote unless. That is the bare fucking minimum. Are you kidding me? He's better than Biden. I'm fucking better than Biden. You're fucking better than Biden. Everyone's fucking better than Biden.
Yeah.
That does not address my concern of having no fucking platform on his website.
Yeah.
It's the new, like, you know, well, Hillary's better than Trump. RFK Jr. is better than Biden. Who the fuck cares? A lot of people are. Like, 99% of people are. Like, okay, cool. That doesn't mean I'm going to fucking vote for him. I don't know. What's your take, Andrew, when you see that totally inconcise response?
Of just what RFK said in that clip?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was, and I don't even know if it was in this clip, but I think at another point in that conversation, he said he would support single payer, but wouldn't support getting rid of private insurance, which is 100% Medicare for all who want it. That is what Pete Buttigieg ran on, and several others as well in the presidential primary. And I think, you know, I alluded to this before. I first of all give props to Case Study for bringing that clip.
Yes, thank you, Case Study QB.
And clipping that out. And it just makes me more disappointed that what Twitter is focusing on, and a lot of that is sometimes reactionary Twitter accounts that also are influenced by certain spaces, right? Certain YouTube channel spaces who are just constantly focusing on the back and forth between Crystal and RFK on their different opinions of the C19 jab, right? And sure, I do have some opinions on how Crystal navigated that. She should have given him a better opportunity to explain his side of the story. But you know what? The disproportionate amount of attention that is on that and not talking about his stance that he just revealed on healthcare just shows a lot on how it's unfortunately making people just more not actually caring about policy, which is what I thought the whole reason why we were doing this was to cut through the bullshit and care about policy and actually get through the noise and show what with substance they're actually saying, right?
I really want to do a fucking clickbait show just to see the different reaction I get. I really just want to do a fucking show that says Jimmy Dore, all caps. And then make one of those like promos that all the cool people do that makes it look like they're coming on the show, even though they're not coming on the show. Just do one of those. And then see like 1 million people tune in and be like, yeah, Jimmy Dore. Oh, wait. She's talking about East Palestine? Fuck. I'm out.
Jenna says, not entire show, just title. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Bananas. Absolutely bananas. But yeah, I mean, debates. I'll never vote for the dude. Debate. We need fucking debates. We need them. Get the Green Party. Get the Libertarian. Get him. Get Mariam. Get every fucking person. Get them all.
Despite the Libertarians being horrifying. But yeah.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started. Not necessarily some of the people, but the actual parties, some of their tweets. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dumpster fire. But I believe in democracy, and that means,
of course,
debates with everyone, whether you like them or not.
So, I think that was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
We owe ourselves and our viewers a funny, right?
We do.
To lighten
Y'all
up.
are fucking pissed. I get so mad because people are fucking ripping into me, and I get so sick of being like, you lack reading comprehension. I am not fucking talking about debates. I am not fucking talking about the jab. I don't give a fuck. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having policies on your fucking website. So anyone who wants to join in, go for it. It's a fucking clusterfuck, but it is entertaining as well.
Yeah.
And you feel really smart.
You do. So, let me just...
You do. I read some comments and I'm like, holy shit, I must be fucking genius because this guy's a fucking twat waffle. Damn. Look at this fucking douche canoe. Ah, shit.
The douche canoe. All right, let me start this funny now.
I'm excited to read the comments after this.
Right.
You want a hot dog? One for $3. Hot dog for $6. 3 for $9. I got better prices than this guy. So good they have to be a $6.
This is a church. They just walked in selling hot dogs.
You can't be here. It's fine. You pay your rent however you pay it. I pay it the way I pay it. I sell hot dogs. Okay, you want a hot dog?
I need some ushers.
Sir, in the road right here.
I need some help.
You look like you want one? Can I serve you a hot dog? One for $3,
I need some help. No, right here. I need some help.
It's a cheaper.
Also, some batter.
Hot dogs! Hot dogs! Get your hot dogs for sale. We got 2 for $3. Got hot dogs for sale. Hot dog! Yeah. Hot dogs. You want a hot dog? 1 for $3. Hot dogs for $6. Guys, I got better prices than this guy. So good they have to be a sale. Guys, hot dogs for sale. You can't come in here. You can't video, guys. Hot dog, you can't be here. It's fine. You pay your rent however you pay it. I pay it the way I pay it. I sell hot dogs, okay? You want hot dogs? Guys, I need some ushers. I need some help. Like you want one? Can I serve you a hot dog? One for $3. I need some help. No, right here. I need some.
That is so amazing.
Can we just talk about how he refers to his ushers as if they're like his security?
Yes.
His
ushers are probably like, up here.
That I'm here to like collect the monthly like dues for them. I'm not here to fucking escort.
I used to be an usher at church, and literally what I did was fucking pass the basket. I'm not fucking running up on stage to protect your ass. What the fuck are you talking about? Hell no. But I was like, shit, if you people are tithing, you better get something out of it. Shit. Jesus would have fed the poor. You're not a Christian, dude. You're turning away these fucking hot dog vendors.
If hot dogs existed at that time, it would have provided hot dogs as well, I'm sure.
What would Jesus eat? Hot dogs. Hands down. Not wafers. Wafers? Who the fuck eats wafers? Hot dogs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Joe Francis says, all right, on that note, I'm off for a hot dog. Nice.
It's like if God didn't support hot dogs, he wouldn't have let someone make them. Period.
Yes.
So, Andrew, I know the answer to this because lately it's been the same, but what's coming up?
Yeah, so I guess what I'll say is not disclosing too much details for obvious reasons, but trying to get involved with coordinating some stuff with local Starbucks workers in the area. So yeah.
Well, let me know if you need any help. Awesome. So that's I'm proud of you. That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Hopefully
awesome. Yay. It's really amazing to see how much you've grown from when we started the show a little over a year ago. You've become like more radical. And I notice it, and other people have noticed, and now you're being more outspoken on Twitter. You've become getting a little more savage, getting a little more. I like it. You shall obey me. No, but you're I love you to pieces. You know that, and I would not want to do a weekly show with anyone else. That's for sure. But coming up, I have Wednesday night. Wednesday night is the night for 80s trivia. It will be music, movies, gag me with a spoon. My name is Heather. I don't fucking know, but it's going to be all 80s. That's so 80s. And we're going to do some trivia. Anyone who would like to join, it is free. We are asking a $5 or more donation. They will be going to our M for M for All East Palestine rally and mutual aid event, as well as the Vancouver, Washington one. And we're just trying to raise some money while also having fun. So I'll be joined with two comrades Wednesday night. Join 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and hell yeah, there's going to be prizes. And I'm dressing up. You better dress up too, because it's going to be fun. And one of the coolest things is that one of my co-hosts is still in high school, so he wasn't even alive in the 80s. It's going to be fun. And yes, I will be drinking.
Well, will there be hot dogs?
Oh, I can put... Oh, she has some 80s outfits.
There you go.
Oh, I wonder if I could give her a side ponytail. Oh. Okay, now I'm thinking. Now I'm thinking.
All right.
Okay. My mind's expanding here. I'm definitely thinking about some fun. Vegan is in the chat. She may have just posted. Is that the link?
To donate to for All East Palestine. Is that where you're going?
Awesome. Well, I was also going to do the link to sign up for the trivia.
Oh,
so and just
right,
as a
80s
heads
movies trivia registration.
Yes. And just as a heads up, that will be on my channel, Savage Joy Marie Man. That will be on my YouTube and my Rockfin. Please, please, please subscribe to both. I do lots of shows over on my own channel. This is just a one night week thing I do on RP. So I definitely need all the subs I can and likes I can get as well to boost that motherfucking algorithm. How many times do you think I said fuck tonight?
I don't know, but we have a RFK person who just came in the chat.
Oh, cool. What's it say?
I can see the Marianne trolls are in high gear here. RFK is a titan. Perhaps read his works before you hurl unfounded insults.
I can't read his fucking words because they're not written, dumbass. I'm trying to read his fucking words and they're not on his website. Pay attention.
I just want to say one thing. Literally nobody here has said anything about Marianne Williamson for this entire episode except you.
Yeah. I literally said, I don't care if you support him. I want him on a debate stage.
Right. And I just, now you have me going. I was about ready to kind of just tune off for the night, but whatever. I just want to say this right here is an exact example of the toxic binary thinking we have, right? It goes back to the same thing. You say something critical about Biden, right? Oh, you must be a Trumper, right? Oh, do you want Trump? Same thing here. We're criticizing RFK Jr. like we should be able to do in a quote-unquote democracy. And then, everybody here must be for Marianne Williamson. I bet you if we did a poll on every single person who is watching this right now, and we said, hey, would you vote for Marianne Williamson? Do you approve of Marianne Williamson? It would be pretty fucking mixed. So maybe
I think it would be pretty fucking low, actually.
It would probably be pretty fucking low. So maybe before you just write something, maybe think. That's, I think, what we could all practice in this day and age on social media. And on it, that's all I gotta say.
If you want to get super defensive, go ask someone who's saying things without merit. Because I'm saying something with merit. He needs to put his positions up on his fucking website. If that offends you, ask yourself why. That shouldn't offend you. Seriously. Go do something. Kick rocks.
Right.
Go do something productive, please. Because you're not going to win any votes acting like that. Fuck that.
So, on that note,
now you know why my name is Savage Joy. See yourself out.
Oh, man.
I may have drank earlier, but it was my birthday yesterday. But thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Much love. I love you guys so much. And I will see you on my channel on Wednesday. Yay. Love you guys.
All right, peace.